Hey guys, it's Laurel. Welcome back to FLOSSTUBE number 4. Today is Saturday, December 3rd. It is a little bit later in the day than what I've been filming. We got a little busy today. We decided to get the Christmas trees down. We had been gone on a trip and didn't get the trees up in the time frame that we normally do. So I have lots and lots of stuff to tell you today, so I'm just going to dive right in. If you're new here, this is a FLOSSTUBE video that contains cross stitch and quilting. I do try to separate those if you're only interested in one, just so there's kind of a breaking point in the video. If I miss something, I'll try to maybe re-show it in the next section, but hopefully I've got everything kind of squared away. So first, just a quick little update, and I know I told y'all it'd only take about 5 minutes in a video, each video, to kind of fill you in life updates. We had a very exciting Thanksgiving this year. We got to go to Texas to see our daughter graduate from Air Force Basic Military Training. It was absolutely awesome. It was wonderful. I cannot tell you how great it was to have both my children in the same place, to have one on one side and one on the other. It was just perfect, absolutely perfect. So while we were there, obviously I didn't cook, so that was a new for me to not cook on Thanksgiving, but I kind of liked it. I do love Thanksgiving. It's probably my favorite holiday, but it was nice to have this little bit of change and to have the four of us together. We did go to a restaurant for Thanksgiving, and we had Mexican, so that was new and exciting for us. It was very good. It was down on the Riverwalk in San Antonio. Very, very pretty place. Very, very neat. The whole experience was great. We got to see her for 3 days. Since she did graduate Thanksgiving week, we got an extra day with her due to Thanksgiving. Friday morning, she shipped out to tech school. So she is currently at tech school, which is still far away from me. However, we do get to text back and forth some during the day. We get to FaceTime her at night, so it's much different than her being at basic training. There is a little bit more connection, so I feel a little better that I get to see my baby's face every day. So before we went to Texas, the 4 days prior to that, I actually went to quilt camp. So I'm going to talk more about that in the quilting section coming up, but that was a blast. We had a great time. We went to a concert. We went to see Big Daddy Weave. My husband is a huge fan. So that was great. We got the tickets to do the question and answer beforehand, which we've done before when we've been to see him. He's just super nice. He's a great guy, Mike Weaver is. And my husband asked a question during the question and answer, and later on in the concert, he actually made mention of the question and referred to Chris as his new friend. So we had a little fan moment. It was pretty neat. But anyway, so I've got lots to show you today. I had said in the last video that I was going to do a kit parade. So what I did was I gathered all my stuff together that is partially kitted. They're not all fully kitted, but I just wanted to run through those real quickly. I'm going to do the same in the quilting section and show you my kitted quilt plans. I do have some haul. I keep telling myself that I just really don't need to buy all this stuff, but it's so hard, especially, if it's an older cross-stitch pattern, you're afraid that it's gonna be taken out of print, so you want to go ahead and get that. Fabric is always something that if you don't buy it during that first run when it's printed, you're gonna have to buy it on the secondary market, and it's gonna be really expensive. Of course, there's been Black Friday sales and special holiday sales going on, so I have taken advantage of some of those. So I do have a bit of haul to show you also. As I said, we got our Christmas trees out this morning. Got those put up. They're of course not decorated. The whole house is torn up, but that's normal. We'll get it put back together this weekend, and it'll be really pretty. I love during the Christmas season, just in the evening, sitting back and have the glow of the Christmas tree lights on. It's just so relaxing and so pretty. We do 3 main trees right now. I really want to add another one, but I don't think my husband's on board with that just yet. We have a main tree that is red and black buffalo plaid. Has like, I don't know what, like crusty bells and stuff on it, little woodland animals. We have one that is all gingerbread themed in the dining room. It's really cute, and that's fun because it's easy to add to that every year. And then we do have a patriotic tree. This year we do have a ornament from Lackland, one of the, it's the flight ornament for my daughter's flight, so we have that to put on. And we've got a few things ordered for that tree that may show up before Christmas, may not, I don't know. We found some more ornaments on Amazon, so I may, or sometime during the next video, I may insert a video of the trees if anybody's interested to see. I know I like to always see everybody's decorations, get ideas and stuff from them. So since we were getting our Christmas stuff out, I did run across a previous finish that I wanted to show you. It is a Lori Holt pattern, and this is probably, I don't know, third or fourth thing I did when I got back into cross stitch. And I remember at the time thinking, this is just such a big chart, and there's so much stitching and it's so hard, and it's really not, but it did turn out cute. I like it, bringing home the tree. It's probably, I don't know, three years ago, I don't know, something like that. I can't remember, but I did buy the frame that it called for on the pattern from Hobby Lobby because I liked how it looked, and they had a real pretty bow on it. I'm not very good at bows and stuff, but I would like to put some greenery on it. Maybe I can get my mom to make me a bow or something. I just thought that'd be cute to show a previous finish. Okay, so I did have a finish while I was gone. I took some cross stitch with me on our trip. It was a 3-hour flight to get there. So I had 6 hours that I could stitch, and I thought for sure I was going to stitch all 6 hours. However, the flight back, I didn't really feel great. I had a little bit of heartburn. My ears wouldn't pop. I was just having a hard time getting comfortable because I'm not 20 and it was a long time on an airplane. But I did get my Old Glory finished. This was my focus whip for November. And it didn't take long. All I really had done, there's like, you can't really see it on here, but there's one little line of gold across the top. That's all I had done when I started back on this. It's stitched on a 28 count Monaco that I coffee tea dyed. And I was able to finish that on our trip. And I'm sorry for the wrinkles. I just didn't have time to iron everything today. So I'll show it again once it's framed. I would like to find a pretty blue frame to put it in. So I'm looking. I went to a couple places this week, but I didn't really see anything. The flower is like one stitch off because apparently when I stitched that gold row, I was off one and I didn't go back and recount it before I started back, but that's okay because nobody will really know. And it's really, really cute. I like it a lot. So I'm very excited about that. If you watch my other videos, you know I'm very into the patriotic stitching. I love anything patriotic. I did before she joined the Air Force, and definitely now I am very much on patriotic board. So since I did finish my focus whip for November, I thought I would go ahead and work on another one. I had this one that I've shown, I feel like I've shown it a million times already in my 3 other videos, but Lincoln's Eagle by Teresa Kogut. I did take this one because I had some areas kind of blocked off. And I worked on it a couple nights at the hotel just doing some fill-in work. But it is, I mean, it's so pretty. And I think it's just taken me so long because this is one of the ones that I think I said in the video when I first showed it that I basically boiled my fabric. Like I didn't turn it down when I was dyeing it, so the holes are really, really little. But I did find a needle that works pretty good on it, and I'll be very excited to have that one done. I did have a new start since last time. I am a in-season stitcher. I don't necessarily stitch things prior to the season to build up to have them ready for that year. I stitch what I feel like stitching at the moment, and like right now I really want to start some Christmas stitching because we are getting our trees down and getting the decorations and everything up. But prior to that I was still in fall mode. So I had talked about this in a previous video, and I went ahead and started Quaker Pumpkins by Hello from Liz Matthews. This is the one I did order the different wording right here from, I can't remember who it was. I talked about it in the last video. But it says, I think, Autumn Blessings. I will put the crow still, I think, but I want to put Autumn Blessings instead. I had talked about maybe doing this one, doing the pumpkins white and doing one of them teal. But when I looked at my fabric that I had picked out for it and dyed, it wasn't quite dark enough for the white to pop on it. So I just went ahead and went with the original colors. And they are the DMC colors. It does have over-dyed also listed on the pattern. But when I kitted this up, I was only using DMC. I hadn't ventured into over-dyed. And since I had them, I thought I would just try it and see what they look like. And I actually really, really like them on this fabric. And again, sorry for the wrinkles. But this is a 16 count Ada that I coffee tea dyed. And I may still do like maybe a single pumpkin in white and a single pumpkin in teal somewhere down the road on a darker fabric just so it'll pop. But as you can see, I don't have a white right here, but the white I just don't think would have popped on here. And I could have done them all teal, but I didn't necessarily want all of them teal. So I just stuck with the original, and it's going to be really pretty. Nice fall colors. And I just thought if I didn't go ahead and start this year, then next year I would get it out, maybe start, maybe not. But now that it's started, next year I'll have a little more motivation to go in there and start. And it is Quaker themed, and I do love Quaker stuff. So that one's so far been really easy to stitch. Okay, and since we have rolled into December, my focus whip for December that was pulled was In Command by Teresa Kogut. And obviously you see I am a Teresa Kogut fan. I am debating this year, the last couple of years for Mania I picked a designer and just stitched there. So this year I'm torn between, or for the coming year, I'm torn between doing Teresa Kogut and Brenda Gervais. So I think it'll probably be one of them that I do. So this is stitched on a piece of 32 count, I think Mystic, maybe 32 count Mystic Ada by Picture This Plus. Now I had started this last year as a birthday start. My birthday's in November. I had done part of the wing, and I do like to stitch in hand. So when I started this, I was stitching the wing in hand. I don't know if you can see that. These stitches are not pretty up here in this area. If I was to show you them really close, let's just hold it back so you can't see how bad they are. But if I was to show you this really close, you would see they're really not even, the tension's not good. So I was a little bit dreading this one coming up on my list as my focus whip because of that, because I knew I was having a hard time with it. So I looked around, I watched a couple other people's videos and tried to see what kind of change I could make to make this a little bit easier for me. So I did buy a hoop, and it's just a cheap hoop, but I thought I would try it to see if it helped with the tension, and it actually did. So the parts that I have done over the last 2 days look much, much better. So I'm feeling better about getting some progress made on this one. It's obviously not something that I'll finish in December, but it is starting to look like a little bit of something. And the shading, I'm starting to get to the colors where the shading shows up good. So I'm excited about that. And I do love this piece of fabric. It's really pretty. I think it's going to be really striking when it's done. I do have a couple, I think I have one other of her angels, and I have a couple more that I want to buy because I really like them. They're really pretty. They're really well done. I also made a decision to make a working copy on this one and highlight it as I mark them off. That's not anything that I've done in the past, but I have to say it's really working well for me on this one. Let me just cover this part so I can show you. So all I'm doing on my working copy, as I stitch them, I'm marking it off, and it's making it so much easier for me to follow, which I think was part of my problem also, because it was taking me so long to get back to find the spot that I had stopped in, because there is a lot of color changes on this one, which is why it's so pretty, is the color changes, but it was hurting my head a little bit. So I feel like I'm on a better track, so hopefully I'll have a little bit of progress to show you on that, but I am kind of in Christmas stitching mood also, so we'll just kind of see how that works out. I did buy the bag also of hers. A lot of her pieces she has made into the bags. I've got this one, and I have Lamb That I Love. I have the bigger bag of it, and they're really good bags. They're very sturdy. I have all my floss and everything in here that I haven't already put on rings just for when I'm ready, so I like that. I like feeling like I'm organized even though I'm not organized. All right, so now I'm going to, sorry, I got my stacks out over. I'm going to show you my cross stitch semi-kitted items. So as I'm kind of purchasing my items, I don't necessarily buy my fabric and my floss when I buy my pattern. Sometimes I will buy them like together if I know I'm going to start it right then. If I'm not going to start it right then, I don't necessarily do that unless maybe it's kitted with DMC. I don't like to tie up a whole lot of money for something to just sit there for a while. The flip side of that is if you're using overdyed and you don't go ahead and buy them, then the dye lots could change by the time you get there. So, you know, it's a gamble however you do that. But I will kind of run through these. I'm sure this is not all of them. I just kind of grab my bag. I have one spot where I keep my partially kitted stuff. I have a couple that are fully kitted that are already in their own project bag. So hopefully I got everything. If I run across something later, I'm sure it'll come up in another video. So I do have, I ordered some Stitching with the Housewives charts a while back. I think this may have been during Jolly July maybe. I'm not sure, but as I said, I have a patriotic tree, so I wanted to do some patriotic cross stitch to put on them. And Stitching with the Housewives has some really pretty ones. So this is Snow Spangled Banner. And then I also got patriotic jars, which I wouldn't necessarily put on my tree, but I could, just depending on how I finish it. But I think that one's really cute. And then I ordered Freedom Delivery. One of these actually came with a free chart that I can't show you a picture because it doesn't have a picture with it, but it's called Oh Say Can You Snow? And I actually stitched that one. I am in the group for Chantel's 141 Design Company, her model stitching group, and she had asked for ornaments that she finished on her mystery ornament box items. So she has that one, and when that one comes back, I'll show it to you, but she showed it in one of her videos, and it is so cute. She finished it, like, so adorable. I can't even stand it. I had done that one on 14 count Aida. These, I ordered some 32 count charcoal Lugana, and I think that's what I may do these on, just depending. Because I like the black, but I don't mind the charcoal looking or the charcoal or chalkboard black either. I think they look really good on there. The colors still pop. As long as the white pops, I like it. But eventually, I'd like to have all these done, these other two, to put on my tree with the one that she has as well. I bought this one. This is a Jeanette Douglas Designs, and I know a lot of Flosstubers are doing a lot of stitch-alongs with her stuff right now. I do like her stuff. She has the, it's like the floral bouquet freebie that she did this year. I have printed all those off, except December. I need to print that, and am planning on doing that. I just couldn't get it worked in this year. So this is Sew Together, and I didn't realize this, but apparently this was a series. This is number 2, Pins and Needles. I do want to stitch this on some platinum Lugana. I think that's pretty similar to the color that's on the front. And I have some of the fancy floss to stitch that with. I also have this, and this is probably one of the first things I bought too when I first got back into cross stitch. It's by Artful Offerings. It's Noble Birdseed Banquet. I haven't picked my fabric for this one, but I did pull the DMC colors for it. I'm undecided if I'll switch. I'm kind of back and forth about whether to keep with the DMC or switch over to the overdyes. But I just love those birds. They're really cute. And I'm not a big, I know a lot of people are stitching the birds too, and I'm not necessarily on the bird bandwagon, but every now and again one pops up and it's just adorable. I just think that's cute. And I love the little stars up here too. Teresa Kogut, Tilly Goat. We have some goats down the street from us, and I just can't tell you how much it brightens your day. Just go by and see baby goats out in the field on your way to work. They're very, very cute. So I want to do this one on a piece of Monaco. I don't know if I want to leave it in the lighter color or go ahead and tea dye it, but I do have the DMC portion pulled for this. It calls for, normally she does a mix, which I really like, so you don't feel, you get the same effect that she has in hers, but you're not like breaking the bank to buy everything. So I did start purchasing those. I'd like to get this one done sometime next year, but it definitely won't get done this year. But I love the little goat. Clovis and Stanley, Stitching with the Housewives. I do have this piece right here, and I get it out every year and put it out, even though I don't have this piece stitched on it. It says something fallish on it. I do have the fabric, and I have the dye color to dye this. I just haven't ventured into the Rit dye just yet, but I just love him, and I love the little scarecrow in the mug. He's super cute. So I do have the DMC also pulled for that. I think I may sneak in maybe the corn. I may do the Classic Colorworks and the corn because that's really cute. But like the crow, I'll definitely just use 310 for that. I don't too much buy the overdyed blacks necessarily. But because I said that, I will suddenly feel the need to buy all the black. Sweater weather. If you've, again, watched my other videos, told you my daughter has a mini doxy, so I have all these to do. I did the yellow polka dot bikini, and it's super cute. So, and it's done on Ada, so I may do the others on Ada, I may not. I really would like to do this on a Lugana. If I had to pick a favorite fabric right now, it would probably be Lugana. I like the look of it. It's easy to stitch with. I am venturing into linen, so we'll just kind of see. I like to keep options open. I hate to get on here and say I'm never going to do something or I'm always going to do something, because then I'll wind up eating those words for sure. But that's sweater weather. I love this. Kathy Barrick is just eating me up these days. I really like her. I'd originally thought that I would do this on platinum Lugana or mushroom maybe. But I pulled out, I have some wheat Lugana, and these are the colors. So maybe, I don't know, I have to play a little bit. I do like this wheat color. I have an ornament I'm going to show you later that I use the wheat Lugana. And it's just really neat looking. I like the effect that it has. Next one is Matter's Choice by Carriage House Samplings. I had wanted to do this one. I purchased it prior to, and I had the floss and the fabric and everything. And when Sherry with Colorado Cross Stitcher, I think one of her camp projects was a monochromatic maybe, I have in my head. And I was going to do this one for that, but I had something else going on at the time that I really wanted to finish, so I didn't quite get to it. But isn't that just, it's just beautiful. So when I bought the fabric, I was still only stitching on Ada, and I actually got a piece of 16 count Mellow Ada, which is like a yellow color. I bought it from somewhere that had it on clearance in this size for whatever reason. And I knew it was too yellow when I bought it, but I had intentions of tea dyeing it. So that's what I did. I coffee tea dyed it, kind of grunge it a little bit, make the yellow be a little more brown. So, you know, if you have something that you can get cheaper and you can just dye it the color you want it, I mean, why not, right? So I did pick DMC 939 as my color. So it's a very, very, very dark blue, which I think will look really good with that. So again, that's Matter's Choice by Carriage House Sampling. This is one I'd like to get to probably sooner than later, but I discovered as I was going through everything, of course, like everybody else, I want to do everything right now. It's like when you go in your sewing room and you find something new, you're like, oh, I have to do that right now. Another of my favorite designers, Kathy Haberman, Hands-On Design. Some of the stuff she does, like, I'm not so much into the flamingos or anything, but she'll do, like, out of 8 things that she does, I want 7 of them. Like, I just really like her designs. Her charts are easy to read. They go fast. Like, what she does that I'm interested in, I'm really interested in. She did this one, I think it was a freebie, this little autumn chart, and I've seen a couple people finish it. I had thought about maybe getting some black Jobelin because I'd done something on that one time before, but I had a piece of black Ada left over from something else, and I was like, I'll just use the black Ada. But is that not just, her color choices just blow me away. She is so good with color. So maybe I can get that one done for next year because it's obviously it's not super big, so it won't be bad. This one I actually do have the fabric for it, but I don't know where I put it. I looked and I'm afraid that I put it in a kit with something else. So we'll see. If I have to buy some more, I have to buy some more. But a Tasket. This came out, I think, just this last year in, I don't know if it was Needlework Expo or Nashville Market, but when I saw it, I was like, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And I was like, I couldn't believe that everybody wasn't like instantly starting this. But I have seen a couple people start it, and it's so pretty. So when I went to get my floss, they only had a couple of the pieces available. So I went ahead and bought what floss my LNS did have. And I'll just continue to collect this because this is not a right away start, but I love like anything. Like when I was younger, I loved Blue Willow. I have a whole set of like Blue Willow stuff, and this reminds me of that, not because it's Blue Willow, but it has the same kind of colors. And I just think that's so pretty. And that's by Rosewood Manor, and I have several of their things, and again, that's one that really gets me with the design. Like, I really love it. Next, I have Roses for Ruby by the Scarlet House. Scarlet House is one of my favorites, and I saw Brenda's finish of this on their video. And when she first showed it, I was like, oh, that's cute. And then she showed it again, and I was like, wow, that's really cute. And then she showed her finish, I think framed, and I was like, okay, I'm in love with that. I have to have it. So I bought it. I'm unsure about my fabric just yet. I almost want to do this on a linen, but I want to have a little more practice on linen to see. I do have, you can't really see, I do have all the floss, but I want to do it for my sweet friend Ruby that we lost this year. So I thought that was very fitting. Roses for Ruby, for my Ruby. This is, I found this in my box. I think somebody gave me this for Christmas one year. It's a prepackaged kit. It comes with, I'm sure this is a 14 count white Ada, which I may switch to, I'm sorry, 16 count when I finally get around to doing it. But I just think it's super cute. I mean, it's just a little church back in some fall woods. I had been watching, I had a couple kits, like Dimensions kits, and I was watching I'm gonna get her name right. I'm gonna get her name right. I'm gonna get her name wrong. Lala D Designs. She's got several videos out, and she's amazing. Like, everything she does is really cute. She does a lot of Mirabilia, and she does a lot of Dimensions kits. So I watched her video, and I instantly went online and tagged all kinds of Dimensions kits that I want. And now I'm like, okay, maybe I need to go pull some of these free wrap kits out and work on them. So I thought that's super cute. This one is from Autumn Lane Stitchery. I saw this, maybe it was on somebody's FLOSSTUBE, I can't remember. Might have been Fat Quarter Shop, or it might have been like an individual person, but it's called Love Grows Here. I thought it was so cute. I have a piece of 32 count antique white Lugana, and it just calls for DMC. But just something about those colors I really liked. And it had been my intention to start this year on my anniversary month, which was April. But then Blackbird came out with a new book, and it had a little anniversary piece that had some birds on it, so I started it instead. So maybe I'll start this one after I finish that one. But it's a very, simple design, but it's just cute. I just like it. And it was finished on whatever video it was that I saw it on, and it looks, that always looks so much better finished when you see them. Threadwork Primitives, American Eagle. I saw this on, I'm pretty sure it was Saltbox Stitcher. She showed it finished, and it was so pretty. I did just buy a skein of each one. It's just 2 colors. So I bought a skein of each one, and my plan is to do this on 28 count wheat Lugana. I thought that was really cute, and I like it in the pillow form, so I'll have to see how big it winds up being on the 28 count, if it's too big for a pillow or not. Back to Hands-On Design, Kathy. I love all of these Let's Talk charts. I have this one, I have Let's Talk Quilting, I have done autumn, I have winter, I have summer. I think spring is the one I'm missing. But I need to, my plan is in January to kind of go through my sewing room and reorganize some stuff. I asked Santa Claus for a new shelf for my sewing room. I have a table I need to move in there. So I have a lot that I need to get done to get organized. And my plan is to kind of come up with some kind of cataloging system for my charts, because I have discovered that I've reached the point that I've looked at some for so long that I'm not sure if I've bought them already or if I just like them and think that I will buy them. So I have a couple that I've doubled up on, so we're going to have to work on that. There is a company called Awesome Pattern Studio. They had you see it every once in a while come up in advertisements. They have some, they're like cats, I think are one of their popular ones to have, and they're just super colorful and just like a million colors in them, and they're just so cute. So I had bought the one that is a Doxy. I bought the Husky, and then I bought this one, Mandela Sloth, because I love a sloth. I have a little fascination with sloths and gnomes because I'm strange like that, but I just thought he was cute. He's just laying there on his branch looking at you. So, and I just need you to see, like, look how bright these colors are. This is like the most neon pink I've ever seen in my life. So I don't know how in love with it I'm going to be, but I like the difference of doing something just crazy different than what I'm doing right now. So one day I will stitch the sloth because he's cute. Everybody needs a sloth in their life. This one is a Fat Quarter Shop pattern. I bought the cloud vintage cloth from Lori Holt to do this on. And I have the DMC colors. This is not the completed picture. There's a little bit better right there. Feels like home. And there is, I think it's like a flower or something down here. I can't remember exactly what the bottom looks like. But again, I wanted to do this. And I had so much stuff going on, I couldn't do it at the time they did it. But whoever, one of the pictures that they showed of somebody's finish, they had maybe up in this area, maybe had put the year. So that's what I'd like to do with this when I eventually finish it. But I thought he was cute. A little bird's cute. So obviously, if you're not going to die until you finish all your projects, I'm going to live forever. So I'm sure you're all probably like that too. Here is the Let's Talk Winter. And this will be my snow stitch this year. So any day that we get snow, I will work on this. That's what I did when I did the autumn one. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, this is what I'm going to do when we have snow. I did get a piece of 16 count chalkboard because that's what I did the other on, and that's what I plan on doing all of this series on. And I do have the DMC colors for that. And that should go pretty fast. Her other one went really fast. And it's nice because you could section it off in little pieces and not feel like it was just so overwhelming to do. Let's see. This one. This is probably one of the most beautiful charts I've ever seen. And right now, I forget her first name, but she is the recovering monogamous stitcher on FLOSSTUBE. Every video she goes through her cross stitch, which is all absolutely beautiful, and then she also has a gorgeous quilt hanging behind her that she goes into detail about. If I lived close to her, me and her would definitely be friends. But she is currently stitching this. It is Red Bird Sampler, and every time somebody pulls this up and shows it, it just makes me want to start it so bad. And it's not giant. So I think it would be, you know, go fairly quick. And I just love that this color combination that she did just blows my mind. It's just so pretty. So I think I'd like to do this on a piece of mushroom Lugana. I had placed an order once for like a whole bunch of it, and it was out of stock, and I just never went in and reordered it for all these that I want to do that on. But that is definitely one that at some point in my life will get finished. Hands-on design. This is triple play pillows. Now I love these in pillow form, but I am contemplating maybe doing all three of them on one piece of fabric, with this one being in the middle, and just framing them as like a horizontal long piece. I have this set and I have her autumn set, which is equally as beautiful. But I really, really like that. When she first started showing sneak peeks of these, I knew right away, like the day that I could order it, as soon as it came up, it was in my basket. And I did pull a piece of platinum, 32 count platinum for this. And I think she stitches it on a piece of 32 count flax Belfast linen. I think this would be good. And I think whatever I stitch these on, I would like to do the same fabric for the fall ones. And then if she has another set come up, just so they're kind of similar. This next piece, I'll show that one last because it kind of goes into plans. I have this by the Nibby Needle. It's super cute. It says, I live in the garden. I just sleep in the house. I would like to say that's true with me, but it's not, because I can't really do the outside. But I would love to have a beautiful yard full of flowers and be proud and say I did that. But I get a few things planted in some planters on the back porch, and that's about as far as I get, because me and outside, we're just not friends. But I do have a piece of 16 count Regency by Picture This Plus. So it's a little bit, it has a little bit of a green tint to it. And I have the called for flosses to do this. I did change, again, it calls for Weeks Dye Works Onyx. And I did change that to 310 because there's not a lot of it in there. And again, normally that's just my default to use 310 for the black. But this one's little and it should go fast. And this is one I've been like, had it in my like immediate start stack, if I had such a thing, multiple times because I really, really love it, but I can't. Something always comes along and catches my eye. This next one, Silver Creek Samplers, she was on Fat Quarter Shop a while back and showed some of her newer pieces and some older pieces and just her thought process behind some of her design, and I love it. I had already purchased this one. I do have all the floss for this. This one is called Lighting the Way. This lighthouse right here, I just love that. And again, I'm not like a nautical kind of person, but I've got a couple pieces that I just think are beautiful. And I love the saying on this: always be a lighthouse, shine your beacon bright, guide every soul adrift at sea throughout their darkest night. And I have a piece of 16 count Twilight Silver Ada to do this on. And I don't know if you can see, but it has a little bit of glittery, sparkly to it. So I thought that would be really cute. I was actually going to start this one. It was between this and one of my patriotic pieces. I think it was Annie B's Folk Art, the American Sampler House or something along those lines. It was between those two, and my husband picked the red, white, and blue one because it was right at 4th of July. So the last one I'm going to show you is just partially kitted as well as the other ones. This is, I had decided to not do a New Year's Day start this coming New Year's because I have so many, my last 2 years of all year stitches I have not completed. Like, my intention was to pick one chart that I would do a piece of every month, and by December it would be finished, but I have 2 years worth that I have not finished, and I love both of them, so I'm not going to start a year-long stitch, but I may or may not start this one for New Year's Day, or I may just go ahead and start it at Christmas because I love it. It is Wildflowers by Kathy Barrett. I ordered a piece of 28 count Murky Lugana by Picture This Plus. I'm sorry, it's a little bit linty. It doesn't have pieces, it's just lint from the packaging. It does call for, I think, NPIs, but she has a DMC conversion, and I'm just going to do DMC. But I think that is just gorgeous. So hopefully this month working on In Command with that dark fabric will give me a little bit of practice on the darker fabric where the murky will not seem so daunting to me. So now I want to show you plans for December, and then I'm going to show you my cross stitch haul. So since it is Christmas, like I said, and I like to stitch in season, I have 4 things that are kind of on my radar. So I feel like maybe 1 or 2 of these will get started this month and worked on, but it just kind of depends on my mood because obviously it's December, it's a busy month, there's a lot going on, and I just feel like I'm not going to put any pressure on myself to stick to my plan for December. It's, you know, there's a lot of family time, there's a lot of church things going on, and I don't want to miss any of that. So we'll just see what comes up. But the first one, I had bought this last year, Santa Rides, and I would like to eventually do all of these. I did the hot air balloon last year, and I just love that. It went really, really fast. I did it on a piece of wheat Lugana with the called for DMCs. So I would like to ideally do 1 a year. Maybe, I don't know, I'm kind of leaning towards one of these 2 for this year. I do really like the train, but I feel like these are maybe less stitching, and I could go ahead and get that done a little bit quicker. And then the other pieces are Ugly Sweater Weather by Plum Street Samplers. Just because it's cute. They have their little sweaters. Very cute. And I had shown these previously. either this Prairie Schooler, which is the 2005 limited edition, or this one, which is the 2006 limited edition. So maybe one of those two. So I don't know. You know how it is. You go in your stash and say you're going to start this one thing, and something else catches your eye, and there you are. So I do have just a couple pieces of cross stitch haul. I do have some more quilting haul that I'll show at the beginning of the quilting section. I have started collecting items for finishing because I do have a lot of stuff that I want to get finished, and I really like all the Christmas stuff. You know, they have really good paper crafts to use for your finishing projects. So I bought me some little trucks with trees, and they're thick. They're kind of 3D. They have a little weight to them. I got these at Hobby Lobby. I got both these things at Hobby Lobby. So I thought that would make some cute finishing. And then I got these. It says package decor. It's 2 of the Joy and 2 of the Mary, but it's like just a little wood feeling, lightweight. So I thought that would be cute. You know, I could, paint them and put them with some greenery on something. So we'll see. And I thought maybe even for that Lori Holt piece, I could use one of these to add some pizzazz to my piece. But we'll see. And then I ordered, somebody had finished this on something really cool that I don't remember what it was. But anyway, it made me want to order this pattern. Little House Needleworks Rudolph sampler. I also want to order Noel sampler by Brenda Gervais. I've been looking at that one for a while. Every time somebody finishes it, it makes me want to do it. But this one was really cute. I feel like they did it on a sleigh or something, and it was just super pretty. I did I bought a little red door at Hobby Lobby that has a little wreath on it. This may fit on there down at the bottom. That would be kind of cute. So we'll see, but that would be kind of cute. Maybe a start before next year. I did start this past year. Lori Holt had a 25th day stitch along where you stitch Christmas items on the 25th day of every month. I did finish one piece doing that, but everybody that comes up with a new way to stitch something, or a new theme, or a new stitch along, I'm like, oh, I want to do that, and I want to do that, and I want to do that. Well, if I do that, then I'm not really doing all the things that I'm already doing. So I get pulled into that and do it for a while and switch to something else. But I guess we all do a little bit. And then this one just recently came out, The Maker and the Mender, Brenda Gervais, which you can see why she's one of my choices for my Mania month, because I have so much of her stuff. But it's just so cute. But this one says, the needle, be it though so slim and slender, is both a maker and a mender. I like that sentiment. I like the way it's finished. It's just, I love the way it looks. So that's all I have for my cross stitch portion of my video. And I know this video is going to be a little longer, and I apologize for that, but I would have initially filmed last week, but that's the day that we flew back in, so I wasn't able to do any filming. Today my husband actually volunteered to leave the house because for some reason I just can't film with somebody else in the house. It makes me nervous for them to watch me, even though they could pull it up at any point on YouTube and watch it. And I don't understand that, but I guess that's just how we are. So next video, my plan is to start talking about stitch plans for the upcoming year. And I have another little thing that I'm thinking about doing, so we'll just see how that comes up for the next video. But I hope you'll stay for the quilting portion of my video. I do have a lot to show you, and I have camp to talk about. If not, I hope to see you in a couple weeks for my next video. So if you just hang tight, I'm going to regroup and set up my quilting stuff, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. So for today's Nerd Note, I just want to talk about the idea of having a community of people around you that are part of your craft and part of your portion of your life that you like. You know, crafting is very relaxing. It's something that, like for me, I do it to keep my mind from wandering. It's very relaxing to me. I have found in the past that I can find myself secluding myself and just shutting myself in my sewing room and just blocking the world out, which sometimes is very much needed. But I do know that there is that risk of getting so involved in your craft that you're missing out on life, basically. So, you know, be sure that you're spending the time with your family. I do always have stitching with me when we go places, but it's not something that I'm going to miss out on conversation with family or seeing my child, you know, do something. I like to have a little bit of time for me, but I need to also have time for my family. And with that being said, it is, I think, really good, especially if you are someone who works from home or you're maybe retired, you're not in the workforce right now for whatever reason, that it is good to find a group of people that you can build friendships with that enjoy your craft. I think that if you are not able to get out, there are plenty of social sites that you can join groups that you can interact with other people. It's a great place to meet new friends. I've met several friends through doing this FLOSSTUBE video. If you are able to go out, if you're a quilter, there are multiple quilt guilds anywhere. You can just look up quilt guilds in your area and you will find an abundance of those. Most quilt guilds, I would say, I've been to a few. Most of them will have set up where you can come to a couple meetings. I'm so sorry. I just had a little snack and it's getting me a little bit. But most of them will have it set up where you can come to a couple meetings before you commit to joining the guild. Normally is a very small monetary fee, and that just kind of helps to cover the cost of speakers that come in or any miscellaneous expense that may have for, you know, projects and stuff that come up. I know I was part of a quilt guild for a while, and they would rotate, and each member would have a month that they had like a 20 or 30 minute presentation, and maybe they were a quilt teacher from a store and they may, you know, have a little mini session of one of their classes, or they may be a like art history color theorist or something, and they share their experiences. It's just nice to have someone to bounce ideas and stuff off of. If you are a stitcher, there are embroidery groups also that you can be involved in. You just have to find one that fits. I know a lot of, I hear a lot of Flosstubers talk about meeting with friends. They meet, you know, once a week or once every other week, and they get together and they do some stitching. And I think it's just really nice to have that interaction with other people. So if you have the opportunity, definitely reach out. If you are not able to get out and go physically, you know, get on social media and find a group or a club, or even just jump on a stitch along with other Flosstubers. If you have a Flosstuber you watch and they're starting a stitch along and it's something that you want to do and they have a hashtag or whatever associated with that, they're not putting it out there just so you can see what they do. They want to see what other people are doing. They want to see what other people are stitching. They want to be interactive with you. So just make sure you are finding a good balance between your time for you, your time for your family, and your time with your friends. So that's my nerd note for this time. And it's a little babbly, but you know, I just feel like sometimes it's nice to get a different perspective from other people. And with that being said, I'm going to kind of jump into my quilting session, which kind of goes along with the nerd note for this time. As I said, we did have quilt camp a few days before we went on our trip to Texas. The quilt camp that I go to was organized by a lady that used to own a local quilt shop in our area. There's a minimum of 10 people for us to be able to book the place that we go to. That lady no longer runs it. She is actually getting ready to move to another area, but we have another lady that has taken over organizing it. She does a great job. We normally like I said, there's a minimum of 10 for us to be able to book the place. I feel like at one time we had a camp that had like 15 or 16 people. It was a lot because we have a big room that they open up to us. It's like a big conference room. You get several tables to use. You bring just what you want to work on. This is not a camp type where there's a project given. It's just simply time for you to come and sew. We get there on a Thursday morning. We set up, our area. We are provided breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the days that we're there, which is basically we walk down the hall. So you can, I think the conference room is normally open at 7, so you can come to the conference room at 7. The second day you're there. First day we go in at like 8 or 9. You can get in the conference room, kind of get a start for the day. At 8 o'clock, we walk down the hall, we eat breakfast. We walk right back down the hall, we come back in, we sew. We sew till noon. We walk back down the hall, we eat lunch, we walk back to the sewing room. We sew until 6 o'clock. We go eat, we come back to the sewing room. And you can stay in the room as long as you want. This time, we did actually Thursday and Friday night. We were in the conference room till probably 11 o'clock or midnight. And every time I go, I swear I'm not going to do that because I'm not 20 and it does hurt a little bit when you sit and sew for that length of time. But I have found that it's really good to get up and move around a little bit. If every hour or so you get up, just, even just walk around the room, see what everybody else is doing, have a little chit chat, catch up on what the other side's doing. That does kind of keep you from getting so stiff, because if you're really super concentrating into what you're doing, you find yourself hunching as you're feeding through your machine. And that has bit me a couple times. I've gotten back from camp and not been able to move for a couple days. But it is very nice. So I did, as I said, I had to leave camp this time because we had concert tickets. So I was there Thursday all day, Friday all day. I was there Saturday morning. I left after we ate lunch. And then I drove back Sunday morning for about 4 or 5 hours and then came back. So we do that twice a year. The park that we go to, it is a state park. It's actually our local Boy Scout park is what they say. It has a pretty good setup. We just, it's just a short walk over to the lodging area. You can either choose to have a single room or a double room the way we're set up. I normally have a double room. My roommate actually, this time that I normally room with, was unable to come to camp. Unfortunately, some of her family got sick the morning of camp and wound up having the flu, so she was not able to come participate in camp, which was a little sad because, I don't get to see her every day. I mean, we do have lunch here and there, but to spend that much time, it's nice to catch up. Excuse me. For the time before. So she didn't get to come, so we are going to plan to do a shop hop one day to kind of get caught up, and we're going to go see what goodies we can find. So all that babbling being said, let me kind of show you what I got accomplished at camp. So last video I showed you the stack of things that I wanted, that I took with me in case I was able to get to them. I didn't get to do as much as I would like to have done, but I did make some accomplishments. So I was able to complete 2 quilt tops. I did not start them at camp. I only finished them at camp. One of them has been to camp. This is probably its 3rd visit to camp, and the other one has been twice to camp. I'm going to show you just a portion of the quilt tops, and then at the end of the video, words are so hard today, but at the end of the video, I will insert some actual photos of the full quilt because I know it's really hard to see them on here with a little bit that I can show. But this one is one I had shown you over the last couple videos. It turned out really, really good. These stars kind of melt into the border here. The gray, it's a really good offset. The color choices in this kit that were picked were really good, and they turned out really good. So I'm very excited to get this one sent off to my quilter and have it completed. This one was Star sampler maybe. It was a quilt block of the month that I had done through Missouri Star Quilt Company. And of course it was like, I don't even know how many years ago, and I just finished it at camp this year. So I try to do better, but I don't know. I have a couple that I'm signed up for this year, so we'll see how I do on those. But I'll show you the progress as I go along. And I am finding that I'm finishing more things because I want to be able to have content for my video. So I feel like this is helping me finish some items. So my planning may be, you know, a little more in line next year. I may actually get some more things done off my planned list by doing these videos, hopefully. And hopefully you'll like what you see and be inspired to do some stuff too. The next quilt top I finished was Serendipity. And these are also on my quilting Instagram, which is I Am a Quilt Nerd. So this is my Serendipity. I had done, I think through this row, I finished this row at camp and this row. And then it was partially put together, the top pieces were put together. I had to do a couple of these strips together and then the one big border all around it. But these are both decent sized quilts. We are contemplating my group. This is the one that there's 4 of us from camp that did this quilt. So I'll actually take it back to camp next time because we all weren't there, and we'll take pictures of everybody's together to have, and that's really neat to see the same quilt pattern in different fabrics. So I was very excited to get those done. I did want to start more new things than what I did at camp. However, I knew that because of the space restraints in my house, it's easier to take something when it's that close to being finished. I can be more productive on it at camp because, you know, we have the big floor space to lay everything out and there's not dogs walking all over everything and all that. So it's very nice to have that area and come back with something accomplished. I do like to take something to camp that I know is close enough to being finished that I can see a completed top, because it always gets you a little bit motivated to see something, you know, get finished. So that was nice. I did also take with me my Liberty box. And this is one I showed in the last Home Sweet Home quilt pattern. I was able to get it all cut out, and I got all the tops of my houses done. So they're really cute. So, oh, that one's upside down. That's nice. So you can see those. So hopefully I'll be able, this isn't a big quilt at all. So like I said, I did get the rest of it cut out. So hopefully you'll see this one finished. I'll say soon. I don't want to say super soon and commit to something that I'm not going to be able to get done, but it is, I really like it. Of course, again, Americana themed. I do want to get it done before, I don't know when the Teresa Kogut one is releasing that's coming out. I can't remember the name of it, but I've seen a couple glimpses of Okay, I feel like I'm probably going to repeat some stuff here in a second because I had a little glitch and I seem to keep having storage issues, so I'm going to work on that. But if I've already said this, I'm sorry, but bottom line of the Patriotic Quilts is I want to have this one finished so that I can start the Teresa Kogut one when it comes out, because I love both of them. I think they're just beautiful. So the next thing that I worked on at camp was socialites. I am doing socialites too, and I am printing off socialites 1 to eventually do at some point. I just don't have time to do it right this second. So I don't know if I've already showed you these blocks. If I have, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to run through them real quick. So the choices were 3, 6, or 9 inch blocks. I chose to do the 6 inch blocks because I didn't want 9, that was too big, and I didn't feel like I was up for the challenge for 3-inch blocks, just looking at these blocks themselves. So the first one is called Perennial Block, and that is this one. And I'm using some Laundry Basket Quilts fabric. I don't know what the name of the fabric line is. I couldn't find it on the selvage. But it's pinks, reds, beiges, creams, that type. The second one is Tussie Mussy Block, I guess it's called. And that one's really fun to make. I like that one. It went together pretty good. And then, and I didn't do these in order. I kind of went backwards because I started late. The third one was Patchy Days Block. I really like that. I like red and white together. That one turned out good. These pieces were not originally the same color, but I did decide to make them the same color. Number 4 was Flirty Block. And then the one that I finished at camp, I was a little nervous about if I was going to be able to get it done because I had a lot of matching seams and little pieces, but this is the Empower Block. And I am very pleased with how that one came out. They just released the 6 block, which is Always Star Block, but of course I haven't had time to do that one yet, so hopefully I'll have that one ready for the next video. The next thing I want to show you, I did have my first custom quilting quilt done. This is a quilt that I appliqued and pieced together years ago. I can't even tell you how long, and I never got it quilted because I knew it required custom quilting, but I didn't know anybody that did custom quilting. My long armor does not. She does a really great job in the other stuff I send her, but she doesn't do custom. A friend from Quilt Camp has shown several quilts over the last couple camps that she has had done custom. So I got the contact information from her and reached out to this lady, talked to her, sent her the quilt out. She had it ready actually the weekend of camp, so I drove from camp because it was close to her pickup site and got it picked up. It is a smaller quilt, and I plan to hang it on my wall in my sewing room once I get that cleaned up and reorganized. And I'll use her again. I don't know that I would have every quilt custom quilted because it is more of an expense, but it just turned out beautiful. And this is also one I will put in the pictures at the end. But this is the quilt, and if you see the custom quilting that she did in each block, it's just beautiful. So I'm very happy with the outcome in that. And I am glad that I did wait and didn't just do an all over quilt pattern for that one, because it did turn out just gorgeous. All right, so I did say that I was going to show some quilting kits also, so I'm going to run through a few of what I have, and then I'll go over my haul and my plans for quilting. So I don't know if y'all do this too, but I seem to have this knack, and I'm sorry for the noise, but I seem to have this knack for just loving something and being obsessed with it, and then once I get it, it just sits. I don't know why. I need to do better, but this quilt kit, this is from 2017. It's called Megastar, and I had seen this quilt on, you know, in several different places. Social media, people were posting. I just loved it. So I finally found where you could order the pattern, but I really wanted these fabrics. So I waited and I waited and I waited, and we had gone out on a vacation somewhere in the mountains, and we found a little quilt shop, and we went in and they had it. So I was like, I have to have that. I have to start it right away. Now this was probably a while. It was probably into 2018, maybe even 19. No, I'd say 18 before I bought it. Still in the back. But I do want to do it because it's beautiful. So it is done with Zen Chic. Is that right? Yes, White Christmas is the name of it. It's the jelly roll. And it has the star in the background. fabric. So I love a star quilt. Any star quilt is just gorgeous to me. I don't know what the draw is for me, but I love them immensely. So this one is like a wall hanging size. I think it winds up being, it's 53 by 53 when pieced. So that's going to be a good size, and that will eventually work into the rotation on my quilt wall. Next, I'm going to show you a couple of table runner kits. Now I have to talk about these boxes that Lori Holt does. I love these. I'm obsessed with them a little bit, actually. What she does is, and this is through Riley Blake, they come up with these kits and these cute little boxes, and this is sturdy. Like, these boxes are, you know, this is heavy, and it has a magnet that closes it. So until you get them done, they're really cute to display in your sewing room, and even afterwards to put, you know, just little goodies and stuff in. So this one is made with cookbook fabric. It's Grandma's Lunch Table Runner. And this one, you know, should go together pretty quick. It's one that will probably go to quilt camp eventually and maybe get done there. I don't know, it's a runner. I might do it here too, but I got this one not too long ago. We went to a little shop. We're actually debating buying a long arm. We don't really know yet. So we had gone and talked to some people at this particular shop, and as my husband was talking shop to the husband, I went and did some purchasing. So this one I've had for a little while. This one is Flea Market Table Runner, and of course also by Lori Holt. And in the kit, like, they're packaged really nice. So they have the charm squares, and then underneath they will have the other fabric that goes with it. Somebody had done this one, maybe Nicole's Needlework, I maybe had done this one. And then I saw it. We also have a Pineapple Fabrics in driving distance from me, and they carry a lot of these kits. So anytime I'm in there, I do tend to pick those up. Oh, I forgot to bring one. I do have Lori Holt's. It's the Houses kit, and I didn't grab that one before I came in here, so I'm sorry. I will try to show that in the next video. This is one of the first ones that I bought from her. I saw this pattern, and I was like, man, that is really pretty. I snatched it right up. It is Flea Market Windows, and I didn't really, sorry again, but I did not realize that this was constructed with applique and yo-yos. At the time, that frightened me, so I just kind of set it to the side, but I'm no longer afraid of those things, so I will eventually do this one. And I'm really into her, like, fabric lines and stuff right now, this look, so I like that. And obviously, I'm not very organized because I have the Houses kit right here. I was just looking at the side of it and thought it was something else. I don't know why these seem to be so hard for me to keep my focus in, but isn't this cute? Now this is the Prim Village quilt kit. I have done the cross stitch for this also, and it's really cute, so I would love to have both of these together. I like what she does in that she designs coordinating quilt kits and cross stitch. I like that. Alright, so that's all the kits I have to show you right now. I do have some other stuff kitted up, but it wasn't pre-kitted by somebody, so I may show those in another video just because of time issues. So what I'm going to do now is show you my quilting haul and then talk about my plans. I did order some stuff a while back from Fat Quarter Shop, and in that, if you ordered X amount before taxes, you got free buttons. So I got some Lori Holt buttons. So those are cute, and I'm sure that they'll be part of some embellishment on something. I saw this fabric, and I gotta say, I just couldn't even hardly help it. Isn't that cute? I think I just got like a half-yard cut, but I thought that would make a cute fabric project bag with the sunglasses. I have looked at this before, this Cream and Sugar monthly program. When Fat Quarter Shop showed these, they had like all kinds of different colors. Everybody, her like sample makers or whatever, all picked different colors and did. And I've really liked it ever since then. And they had some kind of sale that came up, and I got a little bit of a discount, so I decided to go ahead and order this one. Now, I know that I did not need all these patterns that I'm about to show you, but Missouri Star had a $1 sale on their PDF patterns. $1. $1. So I told myself I would only buy 10 because I have a lot of patterns, but again, sometimes when things are on sale, you just need them, and sometimes it makes me happy just to look at the pattern, so I'm okay with it. It was $10. So I got big spools, and I'm just going to run through these really, really quickly. Hens and Chicks, because who doesn't love a good churn dash? Sawtooth Stars and Stripes, because we love Americana. Wild Blue Yonder, because Air Force. Easy Strip Hourglass, which I think I probably could have done this off one of her videos, but again, just to have the printed copy for $1 was great. Disappearing Hourglass Hidden Stars. She has videos on this, and they're really good. Echo Star Log Cabin, because stars and log cabins. And I like that colorway too. I like the black and cream and gray. Corner Star. Santa's Silent Night. Now, I don't have this panel piece, which I think that is a little distracting anyway, but I like the tree itself and the stars coming across. And then I got Squirrel in a Cage, which I have some patterns similar to this, but it just kind of drew my eye, so I got it. And then, last of all, you know, I have already discussed with you a couple times my love of Jolly Bars. So Fat Quarter Shop's Black Friday sale was like 20% off anything on their site. So I did go ahead and get some Jolly Bars. One of these was actually like a flash sale of the day. I think this one, so it was like super cheap. But I got Stitch. That's cute. It's funny, I got Stitch and I got Stitched. That's by Fig Tree. Then I got Cranberries and Cream. And I got Beautiful Day. Now I have Beautiful Day, I think, in a layer cake also. I have it in some other cut. But it's a really cute, like, classic line of fabric. So I really like that one. So obviously I have some Jelly Roll quilts in my future coming up. My immediate plans for quilting, it's a little hard because the holidays coming up. I do want to work on my Liberty Box quilt and get that one done. I have multiple quilts in various stages that need to be done. I have several that need binding. I have one that caught my eye right before I went to camp that is a free pattern that came with Socialites last year that uses the Primitive Gatherings blue and white line, and I have some of that, so I think I want to do that. It's churn dash styled. In January, my plan is to, and I kind of do this every January, I kind of regroup and re-clean my sewing room, try to reorganize, get everything back in its proper place so that I start the year semi-organized. I will never be that person that is 100% organized, and I'm okay with that. I need a little chaos in my life. I've always heard that creative people have a little chaos and a little messiness, so I qualify for that, so I'm just going to say I'm creative and go with it. I do still have I think 3 other things, possibly 4 that I took to camp that I did not start that I would like to start. I may stick to doing the smaller items first just because we're coming into the holiday season, and January is very busy for me at work. I work in accounting, so January is a big month for us. So I still want to be able to find the time to do some stuff and keep my stress level down, but I also want to not overwhelm myself with starting too many things. So I hope you'll come back in a couple weeks and kind of see where I am and where I'm updated. I do hope to have the house decorated here in the next couple days, so I may do a little video. I don't do a lot of decorating, but I do put up a few trees and set up a couple areas, so I may do a quick little video to put with my video this next time. I do plan on filming again in 2 weeks. I'm sorry that it was delayed last time, but again, we had the trip, so it's a little bit hard to squeeze filming in. Today's actually been a little bit of a struggle. I'm just all over the place. If everybody's home on Saturday morning, it kind of throws me off because over the summer, normally the boys are gone. But since the weather's, bad, it's getting cooler, it's not as pretty outside, they're home. So I have to kind of get in my rhythm for that. So we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. And until then, I hope you get lots of stitching done and lots of quilting. If you have comments, please post them below, like and subscribe. I appreciate everybody that's come back and watched me and listened to me babble. I appreciate all the emails and comments back and forth and meeting all of you. I did have someone that gave me the suggestion to switch quilts out behind me for my blank space back here. I will eventually have quilts hanging behind me, but right now I'm filming in my dining room and I do not have any blinds. So I don't want to hang quilts permanently on the wall for fading purposes. But when I'm in my sewing room, when I get that area set up, I will have it set up where I can switch out quilts behind. So y'all will have a little bit of something prettier to look at for the backdrop. So see you in a couple weeks, guys.